Hello, friends, and welcome to October, the best month of the year, not just because it has my birthday in it, but I bet that has a lot to do with it. Also, welcome to our Sunday streaming services. If you are with us on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us here on Zoom, hello, welcome. Go ahead and drop a hello in the chat so that we can say hi back. And if this is your first time here with us, go sign the guest book at oakcliffuu.org/guest. Today's sermon, Creation, Part 2, with Paul Fucile. All right, let's check in on this week's repairs and beautification of our lovely campus. So much is going on. It is looking so good. Kathy has been painting, as you see. I cannot wait to see how this all comes together. Very, very exciting stuff. That is actually the hummingbird bush that was planted in Richard Thompson's honor, and it is blooming. So the whole campus is just beautifying itself as well. Thank you to everyone who has helped. All right, let's talk about our craft supply sale. Today is the last day to donate your craft supplies. So if you have something sitting around that you've been planning on donating to us, do it today. Drop it off at the church. We'd love to have it. And if you want to volunteer your time for the actual craft supply sale, this is going to be such a fun event. If you are able to help, I know that Donna would greatly appreciate it. Email her at fundraising@oakcliffuu.org. As a reminder, the craft sale is next week, October 10th. We are also only a few weeks away from our haunted forest. So much fun. For all of you who went last year, you know that this was a blast. We had such a great time. My kids loved it. Scott showed us some pictures. Amazing time. This year will only be one night only. And so volunteering is even easier because it's just one night of your time. We need people to help set up, tear down, and of course, scare the crap out of all of our visitors. It is going to be such a great time, and I know it'll be a wonderful success. If you are not able to volunteer, please make sure to show up and to spread the word to all of your friends. Such a fun, socially distanced, safe, masked thing to do for Halloween. If you can volunteer, thank you. My mom's one of the people in charge, so, I'm one of you people who will be volunteering together. Go to the Sign Up Genius at this link and pick out what you'd like to do. All right, on a more somber note, today at 1 o'clock on our campus, we will be holding Elaine Wildman's memorial service. If you'd like to attend, you must be fully vaccinated and masked. If you have misplaced your masks or they are currently in the washing machine or whatnot, we will have extra ones available. And there will be a service afterwards with all of Elaine's favorite foods if you'd like to show up. If you can't attend, or if you don't feel safe being there in person, then don't worry, we've got you covered. We will be streaming the service on Zoom. We have actually been very busy, even if we're not holding in-person services, and you can get all of that information, board meetings, not just board meetings, all the meeting links, and so much more. Anything that we are doing right now, you will find in the e-blast. So go and check that out or sign up if you haven't yet. All right, it is Sunday, so after church, we have talk back at 11:15. If you would like some more time with your UUCOC family, go on Discord. We have Discord channels, and just pop in, join a conversation, pop out. It's super fun, super easy. So go ahead and do that. And there is a special time with Alex and a few others from 7 to 8 on Tuesdays on Discord as well, if you want a time to go. Member anniversaries. This one's extra special because celebrating 37 years at UUCOC. 37 years. Everybody, y'all, give it on up for Susan Ammons. Oh my gosh, happy anniversary, Susan. We are so lucky to have you. And to everybody else, and to you, Susan, as well, I hope that all of you have a very happy Sunday.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff's online worship services. Thank you for having the curiosity and the courage to join with us this morning. We welcome you, whoever you are, whatever spiritual tradition, gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or background you bring to our community, know that you are worthy and that you are valued. We hope that you will find here comfort, connection, challenge, respect, and above all else, love.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of love, compassion, and forgiveness.
Que esta luz que ahora encendemos nos inspire a usar nuestros dones y poderes para sanar y no para herir, para ayudar y no para impedir, para bendecir y no para maldecir, para servirte a ti, espíritu de amor, compasión y perdón.
Call to Worship for Stewardship Sunday by Leslie Takahashi. To worship means to consider that which has worth. Today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community, the opportunity to be affirmed in who we are, and to offer that affirmation to others, the chance to stand up to help remake the world and the ideal of justice, the freedom to choose one's path to truth, and to learn from the travelogues of others, the space to expand one's own spirit and to reconnect after busy or humdrum weeks with the sustaining truths of one's life, regular reminders that we must see our world through the lens of love, and the aspiration to consider all life as precious, for if all of it is made of stardust, how can it not be wondrous? So this morning, let's welcome all of these gifts with gratitude, for they have been paid for in many currencies. The blood of the martyrs who died so we can be free in our religion. The sweat of those who persisted in justice's name against hostility and adversity. The tears of those who struggled to build better lives for those in this life. The questions of our children as they understand the world anew and offer their understanding to us as a fresh lens. The laughter and joy of those giddy with the embrace of community. The dollars and cents of those who gave what they could and then stretched a little more. The infinite small acts of service that make the parts greater than the whole, done by those who knew themselves in sympathy with our purposes. So today we consider with gratitude and humility what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward to us. And now, with all of this, let us enter into worship with gladness in our hearts.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, come again, love. come yet again, come.
Please join me in affirming our covenant to one another. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance and service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together.
And now in Spanish. Porque nos amamos uno al otro, honramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y acepción, así que hacemos pacto.
In our community, we make time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another, our joys and sorrows. We do this because each person in this community has value. Each person's experience matters. We share our sorrow with one another today, knowing that sorrow comes into each person's life, knowing that together we offer comfort. At this time, we invite you to publicly post your sorrows and prayer requests to the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger.
When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love.
We also share our joys with one another, knowing that joy comes into all our lives, knowing that joy calls unto joy, knowing that together our voices can rise in a chorus of celebration. At this time, we invite you to publicly post your joys and prayer requests to the Zoom chat or send them to our Facebook Messenger.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the steps of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice.
Good morning, everyone. I made a slight title change to this message and creation to the creation experience. Hopefully you understand a little bit why I did that as we move along. So if there's ever a time that I must construct a poignant message, today is the day. But no pressure, Paul. But seriously, there's so much going on in our church life that I seek to give light to in these words. We are still in the midst of a pandemic, and opening the church for in-person worship is a weekly Board of Trustees topic. We've undertaken and completed amazing renovations to our church home and to welcome both new and old members. And sadly, today we observe the passing and we celebrate the life of Elaine. All at the same time, as I am the Board of Trustees treasurer, I am charged with the task of leading us into this year's annual pledge drive. Always be creating. That's the title. So on that note, let the creating begin. The last I spoke with all of you, I provided a panoramic view of a multitude of creation stories from different cultures and traditions. Then, in a fascinating turn of events, our discussion and talkback unfolded for me as a discussion about language. The language of criticism in comparison to the language of creation, and how language of curiosity, questions, and wonders lead us down the path of creation rather than criticism. Curiosity, questions, and wonder are marvelous as they activate the mind's imagination. Where if we continue to move in that force of creation, the mind and the soul explores different perspectives of reality and different views of the world around them. If we seek change in the form of progress, we explore alternative ways of creating different realities to the present. But what does that look like? So this is a really simple example, and maybe short-sighted, but I really like the using driving, and because it shows things so simply. There's not a whole lot of mix up of the dynamic that's going on. So, and also I do a lot of driving. I'm not always a patient driver either. So say someone cuts me off. I can interpret it in a critical or destructive way and say, how inconsiderate. They are so entitled, they don't even care about other people on the road. Okay, now add some expletives to that. This back takes it personal. I'm taking it personal, and I become defensive. And nearly every time we are defensive, it only highlights our insecurities and our selfishness. Alternatively, I can approach it from a more constructive, creative orientation. Oh dear, I hope everything is all right. I hope he or she is not late or headed to the hospital because something tragic has happened. More accurately, this is the path of compassion. It is neither selfish nor a place of insecurity, and in turn creates a space of harmony rather than discord. But Paul, what if the driver really is a jerk? So words are powerful tools, far more powerful tools than we give them credit for, with the exception of when they are a voice of a narrative counter to our own. So before we get into the real kind of thick of that, let's harken back to our creation narratives. In particular, I want to pay attention to the Abrahamic tradition, which is the source of Jewish, Christian, and Muslim traditions. Now, I'm doing this mostly because this is where my knowledge base is solid. The prayer of Baruch Sha'aram is recited in the Jewish tradition daily in morning prayers. It begins with God spoke and the world came into being. God spoke and the world came into being. This is obviously commentary from the first chapters of the book of Genesis, in the first book of the Pentateuch, 5 books, the Torah. Whether you're a Christian or not, believe in God or not, many of us read this from a Christian perspective, in that it's some sort of a testimony of what happened. Moses, the transcriptionist of Genesis, is giving us his account of God summoning the particles of the universe. And like a wand, he's waving his hands together and constructing the world. However, in the Jewish tradition, it's nothing like that. Instead, it is the literal utterances of God in the Hebrew Aleph Bet that constructs the universe from nothing. The utterances of God, not just words. We're not even talking just verbs here. We're talking about active, creative, and a force of the words are the force of creation. And so that's a little bit different than a testimonial of creation. And I like to argue that our words have the same sort of power, maybe not as easily. In other words, I can't say I'd really love a Dr. Pepper right now and I have a Dr. Pepper, but I have one downstairs and I'll surely have one. So you might be inclined to say that that's hokey pokey nonsense, and that's totally your right to say. But we'd all easily admit that words can destroy. Think about it. Words can destroy confidence. Words can destroy trust. Words destroy relationships. Words destroy diplomacy and the environment, and so on. It becomes the words that create the ideologies that lead to things like climate change, as we're calling it, or climate destruction. And so we're all willing to admit that words destroy, and so willing that we'll call it on the carpet. We'll say, ouch. Then that destruction of trust and confidence manifests into tragedies. Study suicides of kids that are bullied, mass shootings by ideologues, and the most profound of which are wars. Yet if words can destroy, they must also create. So let's take God out of the equation. What would we be today if words did not create? Let's have a little thought experiment. What if we couldn't talk to each other or communicate with one another, and what would exist? And the truth is, in reality, we wouldn't exist. If you recall, the human species survived extinction because we could communicate. We could form alliances. We formed communities. And that's what led to our survival. Whereas other species, dinosaurs, for instance, could not create. And that whole asteroid thing, you know. So how might the world and reality be different if we gave this creative creation voice a louder speaker? What if they had the microphone all the time rather than criticism and telling people what they do wrong or what they could do better? Because that's just another way of saying how you do something wrong, right? If the world of difference and discord was outshined by the force of harmony and creation, how would our reality be different? So as we look back at Elaine's life today and we look at our church, do we see destructive work or do we see creative work? Did she bring life to the UUCOC community? Did she give it purpose? Did she help UUCOC flourish? Would we be sitting here today if it weren't for Elaine and women and men like her to believe in the mission and the beloved community of UUCOC? Ponder that thought, not just now, later when in the memorial service. That's another great place to ponder that thought. But we have to admit that the power to create or destroy lay in our own voices. Many of us use these voices to destroy and create without first owning them. Owning our voices, you wonder? More so than ever in history, with social media and the platform or soapbox to the world at our fingertips, it's easier more than ever to ride out a tide of criticism. Yes, criticism, which is not the same as critical thinking. Maybe the guy or gal who cut me off really is a jerk. But answer me this: what do I gain? How am I moved forward in love by casting that shadow upon them? As a church and as a community, how do we move forward in shadows whilst also creating shadows? Throwing shade can be funny at times, but does anyone really move forward with it? We've seen now, literally today, in today's time, now more than ever, that calling someone on their own ignorance, more often than not, just simply leads to them doubling down on said ignorance. For this dynamic to evolve, we must create. We must create space. We must create time. We must create community. A community that meets people where they're at so that we can grow together. Sure, a tree can grow faster and taller than all the ones around it, and we might think that tree is superior. But answer this: what's really done by that tree that grew faster and taller? It just casts a shadow on every other tree around it, so that it has to work even harder to grow. We have in front of us another fiscal year, and we are primed more than ever to ignite a flame or plant seeds for our greatest possibilities for growth in recent history. Now, we have some amazing, despite the pandemic, we really have some amazing accomplishments to celebrate this year. We are one of the UU congregations, one of the only UU congregations in the area to experience growth in the pandemic thus far. We've also done renovations to the facade of the church, and that's brought new life to our campus grounds. As well, the clearing and cleaning of the grounds themselves has made space for the flourishing of that life. And I'm sure there are plenty others that I'm leaving out, but those three more than ever laid the foundation for just amazing growth and potential. More than anything, though, we've taken a challenging and sometimes tragic time and created an opportunity for improvement. Now, right here, right now, today, is the time to consider the inside of the church. filling our halls and our sanctuary with laughter, lighthearted fun, powerful discussions, watering the seeds of a creative creation spirit that thrives and flourishes until it spills over into the world around us. In the coming weeks or so, you'll receive a pledge packet asking you to go into Breeze and update your pledge amount. In the time from now until then, I'd like you to do me a favor, and I don't want you to put it off. As soon as we sign off today, or even as we're speaking right now, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine. I want you to activate your creative energy and close your eyes and imagine. What do the halls of our campus look like in the future? Do you hear laughter? Do you see a full sanctuary ready to receive a powerful message? Are our children lingering in Sunday school because they've been spiritually fulfilled and gained new light on life, and they want more? Are we gathered for meals together? Is Halloween an even bigger celebration than it's ever been? Are we celebrating the spring equinox outside because there simply is not enough room inside? Sit with these questions. Revel in them. Play with them. Move pieces around. Make them as fanciful and as inviting as you can possibly imagine. Because all of this is possible due to your generous donations. Those donations are like seeds, also bringing in new members to increase and grow the community even further. So when your packet arrives, close your eyes. Think of all that you've imagined. And when you get to that sweet spot, open them and then give as generously as you can imagine. Thank you so much for having me today. I'll see you next time.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word, one more prayer. We will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer, one more song. We will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope. For we are now the keepers of the dream. To make an offering or your pledge, please go to oakcliffuu.org/donate and follow the links.
give, together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy, así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
If you are proud of this church, by Michael A. Schuler. If you are proud of this church, become its advocate. If you are concerned for its future, share its message. If its values resonate deep within you, give it a measure of your devotion. This church cannot survive without your faith, your confidence, your enthusiasm. Its destiny, the larger hope, rests in your hands.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And now in Spanish. Encendimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
Faith of the larger liberty, source of the light expanding, law of the church that is to be, old bondage not withstanding. Faith